aside.
I got £7,500 compensation, and what's more, they've recited that bus stop.
Find out free if you can make a no-win, no-fee claim. Call 0800 556 557 now.
Good evening, welcome to City News. Here are today's latest headlines. The US Federal Reserve has cut interest rates to fight off a possible recession. A mother of one of the 5 Ipswich murder victims has spoken out in court. Israel has eased restrictions on Gaza for a limited period. And we have more for you on the American elections, a weather update and sport later in the programme. The US Federal Reserve has cut the base rate of interest to 3.5%. The shock move was made after yesterday's turmoil on the world's stock markets. The move was made before the opening bell ring to begin trading on the Dow Jones. The index, as expected, reopened with a loss of 450 points. On home soil, the FTSE 100 has stabilised from the slump. However, it is too early to say what effect the American markets will have on the European indexes. However, throughout the day, stock markets across the world have continued to fall, whilst the US markets were closed. Earlier today, India's Sensex fell 9.8% within minutes. In Frankfurt, the DAX was down a further 2.4%. The French CAC 40 was also down. These falls are still being triggered by fears of a global recession. Analysts say it is too close to call, but many agree that there is a very good chance it will occur in the US. American bank Merrill Lynch has said a recession has already arrived. Our economics correspondent, Atish Patel, is in Wall Street with the latest. Atish?
Here in New York, news is still being felt about the surprise move by the US Federal Reserve to cut the interest rate. However, as the Dow Jones opened, attention shifted to the performance of shares, and it's not good news. The Dow Jones tumbled more than 200 points as traders reacted with panic to the Fed's emergency news. The big question is whether the move will counter the start of a bear market that could see prices sliding for years. By bear market, I mean one where shares are trading 20% below their highs. Some major stock markets are already bear markets, and many others are close to getting to that stage. The threat of a recession here could cause worldwide slowdown, affecting consumers in Britain. It's pretty simple. Jobs will be less secure, people will find it difficult to borrow money, and we'll all have to cut back on spending. However, it seems the country is ready, as a spokesperson for Gordon Brown announced that Britain is well placed to withstand this uncertainty. A surprising move by the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates is a big risk, and we'll have to see whether it's going to work. Back to you, Kat.
Thank you, Atish. The mother of one of the 5 women found murdered in Suffolk has given evidence in the Ipswich Crown Court today. 19-year-old Tanya Nicol was found dead in a brook in December 2006. Kerry Nicol told the court that she was unaware that her daughter was working as a prostitute. Tanya Nicol's mother had thought her daughter had been working in a bar or hairdresser's in the weeks leading up to her death. She also told the court that men she did not know came to the house. Kerry Nicol informed Ipswich Crown Court of her daughter's actions on the day of her disappearance. She told jurors that Miss Nicol left home at 10:45 on the night of the 30th of October 2006 and caught a bus to Ipswich. Kerry Nicol confirmed that she spoke to her daughter a quarter of an hour later to confirm she was on the bus safely. That was the last conversation she had with her daughter. Mrs. Nicol explained to the jury that when her daughter didn't return home, she checked numbers that Miss Nicol had called before her disappearance. She found that Tanya had called a man called Tom Stevens. Mrs. Nicol also told the court that her daughter had moved into a hostel at the age of 16. According to Kerry Nicol, her daughter had been using heroin in the hostel. The bodies of 5 women were found over the course of 6 weeks, from October to December in 2006. Steve Wright denies murdering the 5 prostitutes. The court also heard today about efforts in Ipswich to curb prostitution in the area. The ongoing blockade of Gaza has been relaxed today, but Israel refuses to announce its stoppage. This comes after growing international pressure following the forced closure of Gaza's main power plant, leaving residents of Gaza Strip without electricity. The Israeli Defense Minister, Ehud Barak, has authorized a temporary relaxation of the embargo so that essential diesel and cooking oil can be distributed to the region. Jacob Greaves reports live from Gaza.
Thank you, Catherine. In Gaza, the mood is one of relief and apprehension. Today, citizens return to some form of normality,